Hi, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our webinar tonight. On behalf of IamExpat, we'd like to welcome you to our Speak Dutch with Confidence in 6 months, the F.A.S.T way. We will be joined this evening by Sofia and Anneta, who will be assisting and will be explaining to you things with regards to speaking Dutch and learning how to speak Dutch the F.A.S.T way. Before we get into the webinar, I'm just going to do some housekeeping. On the right of your screen, if you're joining us on a desktop, or at the bottom of your mobile telephone, you will see there's a few options. There's a chat option, a Q&A option as well. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you all and ask you to pop in the chat section where you're joining us from, whether it be a country or a city. Feel free to let us know where you're from. Throughout the webinar, if you have any questions, feel free to pop those into the Q&A section. And if there is a question that somebody has asked that you feel you would like the answer as well, feel free to thumbs up the question, because that question will then be shot to the top as a important question to be answered. We will start the webinar off first. So during the webinar, feel free to ask your questions. We will answer those questions at the end of the webinar. So with all that aside, I will now welcome and hand over to our speakers. I hope you enjoyed the webinar. Welcome, Sofia and Anneta.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Everybody, hello.
Thanks, Riska, for having us.
Yes, thank you very much.
And welcome, everyone. So tonight we are here to discuss about the challenges of learning Dutch and see how everyone is able to feel confident after a while with working in a smart way and in a fast way. This is the way we do it. We apply the FAST method in order to teach Dutch in 6 months. Like someone is a beginner today, and in 6 months, someone can have B2 level in all parts of the language. I'm together with my colleague Anneta. Hello, Anneta.
Hello.
From my side as well. And so let's start. Let's go. The slides will guide us through this webinar. What do we have here tonight? The Dutch narrative. So we start with the stereotypes around the language. Then we go to the challenges and some tips about how to overcome the challenges. And at the end, we'll have a trial lesson. We'll try to, because the microphones will be switched off, but we'll find a way to have a trial lesson so that in order to help you to apply already the tips that you will receive during this 20 minutes trial lesson. I'm starting with the first stereotype, and I'm saying that it's a lie. The stereotype says older people learn more slowly than younger students because the brain's ability to learn weakens. So in my opinion, but also in our professor's opinion, the one who taught us the methodology behind the FAST method, is what happens is that as we get older, if we compare ourselves with someone who is 20 years old or with ourselves when we were students, what changes is that we have more responsibilities, our minds are full of things. We have more family responsibilities, maybe more senior positions at work, and things like that keeps us busy. So it's a lie that the mind weakens.
Yeah.
Do you also have this stereotype in mind? You can answer our polls tonight in order for us to receive feedback and see how you have experienced that. I forgot to mention that I will go through the first part, and then Anneta will be the responsible for the trial lesson because she's a Dutch teacher. I also forgot to tell you that I'm a French teacher, but I'm the initiator of the FAST method. That's why we work together with Anneta, who is the responsible Dutch teacher of our school, to combine our strengths tonight in order to help you understand what we have to give you. So here I'm going on with the second slide that talks about an adult-specific method. So as an adult, if you want to learn, you have to avoid all the books and the traditional methods that go very slowly. You need something that is relevant to your life, and this brings me to the third slide, something that is relevant to the adult life and something that is flexible to the needs of a daily, busy daily schedules of us as adults.
Yeah.
And something that is tailor-made, customized material, and not A, B, C, and the numbers and the alphabet. You already know these things, even when you're beginners. Second stereotype here. Dutch is hard to learn. Do you believe that as well? I would really like to know if that applies to you. My personal experience in the Netherlands 7 years ago, when I came to the Netherlands, is my first experiences with a 4-year-old Dutch girl, a member of the family. So my experience was very positive. I heard a girl speaking so nicely, speaking Dutch. So it was a positive experience. I started with that. I didn't feel that it was that it was hard to learn. I still believe it's not hard, and then I will give you more ideas about that later. But think about it. Is it really a stereotype? Is it something that is real, that is hard to learn Dutch? An answer here, it can be that it depends on who you are, of what languages you already speak. If you speak German, for example, or if you speak English, and since you're here, you already speak English. A German friend that I have in Amsterdam, he says that Dutch is German for kids. So a German speaker, a native German speaker, sees some, not only the similarities, but some things like grammar that are easy in Dutch if you compare it with the German grammar. It really depends on what you compare Dutch with, and it really depends on your previous knowledge, on the knowledge of other foreign languages that you speak. So let's give a specific example here. What happens if you speak English, for example? First, we put here a Dutch text, and just below it's translated into English. With orange, you will see highlighted the words that are very similar. Het station, the station. In Roermond is, uur is the time or the hour. Dag, Limburgse. Anneta, I'm sorry if my pronunciation is not perfect. You know, I'm still a learner in Dutch.
Yes.
Dag is a day.
Yeah, dag.
Aha. Kunnen zien, that we can see.
Ja, kunnen zien.
Aha, thank you. So we can see some similarities, right? Some things are exactly the same, some other words are very similar. So I want you to take advantage of these similarities when you're about to learn Dutch. And then let's go to the case where someone speaks German, even if you're a native German or not. So first we have again a Dutch text translated to German. You see again many similarities. So that was the introduction to give you an idea of our way of thinking. Let's go to the challenges that we've seen people face during their learning journey. Pronunciation. Okay, there's a poll for you. What's the biggest challenge for you? Please let us know. Pronunciation, vocabulary, grammar, article speaking, and more things. So we'll take them one by one. And let's see. Someone says that I cannot pronounce G, or I cannot pronounce Dutch is known for many sounds. So if I go to the next slide, Anneta, please help us here to see how we have to pronounce these words. Because if we start pronouncing 1, 2 of them, then we, the learners, we can try to pronounce the third and the fourth word.
Ja, the first one, Groningen. Groningen.
Groningen.
Groningen. The second one, gisteren.
Gisteren, the same sound, right?
Gisteren.
Mm-hmm.
Pagina.
Pagina. And then let's give the time to the participants to guess the last word. The G, at least the sound of the G. So, Anneta, how does it go?
Vrijdag.
Vrijdag. And dag is the day that we saw before, right? Dag. The word day, vrijdag, Friday.
Vrijdag.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if you pronounce a word, you pronounce them all. Anneta, please help us here.
Huis.
Huis.
Yeah, there is very important in the pronunciation, the difference between the g we just saw and the h. Huis.
Huis.
Huis. Here we have muis.
Muis. Please try your own. Try it out loud to see if you can do it.
Uit.
Uit.
And juist.
Juist.
It's a little bit difficult, the ui always.
But the good thing is that it's always the same, like ui. Huis, muis, uit. Huh? Yeah. Every time that I see these two, this diphthong, so it goes the same.
Mm-hmm.
And then?
Jordan.
Jordan.
Ja.
Ja.
Jaap.
Jaap.
Maarsen.
Maarsen. Maarsen is the place where I live. That's why we have it here. And it has a double A. Okay,
Maarsen.
Perfect. Then, what do we have here?
Koe.
Koe.
Moe.
Moe. Okay, let's give some time. Let's give some time for everyone to try out how is the next word is pronounced. It's a difficult one, but once you just repeat the diphthong, it goes like
Joepie.
Joepie.
And moeder.
Moeder. Moeder.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, okay. So thank you, Anneta, for the help here. I will continue with the theory a bit. The theory of the FAST method. We don't have much theory, but we have some rules. So the challenge is the pronunciation. What does the FAST method recommend here? Talk to the window 3 times or more times. So what is this practice to talk to the window? When I started learning Dutch, in my office, I had, it was a room actually, with a window like 4 or 5 meters to the left. So when I wanted to pronounce something and to practice something, I had to repeat it out loud. Koe, moeder, uit. All the words that we just saw. Joepie, joepie. So in this way, I put myself, the learner, in a position to try to tell it out loud, to pronounce, to use new muscles, and I can also hear myself. So if something is difficult, and when you have whole sentences to repeat, things are difficult, then I can see my difficulty, and then I know where I have to work more. Practice, practice, practice. This is something that you don't hear for the first time, but please keep the talk to the window practice. Find a spot in your office or in your room during your study, and then imagine that someone is there, that your teacher, your friend is there, and you practice like that. Because when you just read with a low voice, this doesn't work very well. Okay, I'm going on. So, Anneta, here we have vocabulary. We need your help again. Yes. Challenge. very long words with difficult pronunciation. So the tip here is to just break down the word when it's long, understand it, and then pronounce it, talk to the window again. So how is the first one pronounced?
Studentenhuisvesting.
Studentenhuisvesting.
Ja. Kinderbijslag.
Kinderbijslag. Kinderbijslag. I really practice. That's what I want to show. And then,
Nazomerweekend.
that means after summer weekend. So it's a weekend after the summer, something like that. Nazomerweekend. So I have two ways to work here. The pronunciation, talk to the window, use the distance, use my ears, but also understand all the different components of the word. So I understand the meaning and that I can remember the meaning like that.
Ja. En dan koekenbakker.
Koekenbakker.
Ja,
Koekenbakker.
koekenbakker.
Koekenbakker. Koekenbakker. Koekenbakker. So I see that maybe my R is not good, so I will repeat. Bakker. Is that correct?
Bakker. Ja, rolling.
Koekenbakker. And I feel that this word is difficult for me, so I have to pronounce more and more times.
Vindingrijkheid. Vindingrijkheid.
Okay, good. And next one.
Luchtvaartmaatschappijen.
Okay.
Arbeidsvoorwaarden.
Does it help, Anneta? What have you seen from your experience? If the students break down the words, does it help? Does it help?
Yes.
Yes.
Like if it's a very long one, like studentenhuisvesting, it's better first to cut the word in pieces, because here we have 3 different words, and then you can read it easier after. So if you know, it is studentenhuis and vesting, all together, studentenhuisvesting. Yeah.
Studentenhuisvesting.
It helps a lot.
Yes. Good. So, pronunciation again, the tips of the FAST method: work with whole texts, online sources, articles, some letters from the municipality, maybe, example from real life. And why do we recommend to work with whole text? There you can see the context of a word that you're trying to learn. You don't only learn a list of words, but you learn some words into their context. And it's the best way to memorize them, and also to learn how to use them correctly afterwards. Yeah. Another reason, because you learn relevant vocabulary, relevant to your job or to find a job, to talk to your kids' teacher, just an example. So learn vocabulary that is relevant to you, to your life and to your needs. For example, when I was a student at the University for French Literature, before being an Erasmus student and going to France, I never used the fork and the knife and the cutlery and all this vocabulary of the kitchen and of the gastronomy. And I learned it in real life when I was there. If you want to prepare yourself for being in the Netherlands or for being abroad, prepare yourself, prioritize the vocabulary that you will need. This is what I want to say here. This is motivating. But if you start with the cow and the milk and things that are not so useful to you, it's not the same. It's not so much motivating. So these are 2 things that I would like you to keep from here. Work with context in order to learn your vocabulary, and also focus on relevant to your life vocabulary. Okay, grammar, another challenge. Is the grammar difficult for students, Anneta? How is it?
No, I don't think so. The Dutch grammar is not so difficult. No, if you compare it with other languages, it's not so difficult.
Now it's a moment that I wish to know what people think about it. Maybe you can write to us. Some people that I speak with, they say that, I think the grammar will be difficult, or some others are more worried for the pronunciation. Anyway, we have some tips to give, and it says analyze it, study it when you need it. For example, every time at the beginning of the lesson, the teacher and the student interact, and they say how they spent the previous day or their morning or the weekend. So since you know that every time you will start like that, or even with a colleague, not necessarily in the lesson, prepare that. This is what I want to say here. Prepare, study something because you need it. Maybe it's the past tense to describe how the weekend was. And another example about causative phrases. Causative phrases is when we say because. I like this because. So study it, not because the teacher decided that you need now to study that, but make it relevant to you. The moment that you are going to work with that, if the moment is the best for you, then it will stay in your mind. Another tip that is very practical, it came from my mind and some people find it useful, you will see it useful to you. It's translation to your mother tongue, is that translation to your mother tongue helps. Sometimes when you're a beginner and you're not very confident with the language, translation helps because I'm quite sure that people like myself as a learner in the first levels in Dutch, we translate either from English or from our mother tongue. We translate what we want to say and then we translate it to Dutch. So my example here, I love living in the Netherlands because many flowers there are. Okay, an English speaker would say because there are many flowers or because I like pindakaas. I don't know why.
The structures in Dutch, the sentence, the structure in the sentences in Dutch is always difficult. That's the struggle of all the
structure. Yes, thank you. So this is what I wanted to say, that I changed the structure in English in order to help myself remember how it is in Dutch.
Yeah,
exactly. I want to learn Dutch because it will be useful in English, but Dutch people say because useful it will be. The verb, when there is because,
verb at the end.
To the end, exactly. And then the last thing, everything in good time. Learn things when you need them. Okay, but also in good time means when the difficulty is there according to your level. What do I want to say with that? Sometimes we are at A1 level, we are beginners, but in our adult minds, many questions pop up and we ask many questions that are not for the A1 level. So sometimes we have to be patient and go deeper to grammar rules or to exceptions after B1 level, for example, or after A2 level. So be patient to keep things relevant to your life and to keep them simple at the beginning.
Yeah. Simple sentences is very important in the beginning. Yeah.
Yes, they are more manageable it's easier for us to memorize them.
Yeah.
To learn how to build simple sentences at the beginning and then every time enrich them and add more words. Fundamentals based. This is something that we like. The first letter of the FAST method, the F, is for the fundamentals. Focus on the fundamentals and then go on to exceptions, to more theories, to more rules. For example, ik ben Sofia. As a beginner, for someone, it's more useful to know how to introduce themselves like ik ben Sofia, to know the first person of this verb instead of knowing the infinitive. Okay, the infinitive of be, of the verb to be in Dutch is zijn, correct?
Yeah, zijn.
But I prefer to learn first ik ben because this is the first thing I will use. And then zijn is a verb that I will use later on during when I will try to speak. Is that right?
Yeah.
So this is the concept. Try to be practical. And the articles. let's go to see about how do we learn the articles here. Anneta, would you like to help?
Yes, we have de and het, and then we have the indefinite article een. We have always for de, we use always for the plural. And de katten, de vrouwen,
The cats, the women.
de slangen,
What does it mean?
snakes,
Okay,
de koekjes.
the cookies, right?
Yeah, slangen. And when I saw some question somewhere, slangen. We don't. If we have the combination, the N and the G together, we don't really pronounce the G. So we say slangen.
Slang.
We don't really hear the G. Slangen.
Okay.
That's good to know for the pronunciation. Yeah.
Okay. So every time that I see plural, I use the article de.
Yes.
Right. Another moment that I use the article de. Words that end in
Heid, er, ing, ei, aar, ant, i.
Okay, let's see the examples.
De moeilijkheid, de apartheid, de bakker, de trainer, de vergadering, de ervaring.
Perfect. Again, the article de.
Professions, yeah, people and professions always have de bakker, de politieagent.
The politieagent. I like that.
Yeah, de zanger.
The zanger.
Yeah, I hear a little bit of pronunciation and G together at the end of the G. De zanger.
The zanger.
De vriend.
The friend.
De vrouw.
Vrouw.
De man.
Okay, perfect. And time to go to the article het.
Het, ja. Sports and games. Het voetbal. Het ballet. Het tennis. Ja. En de kleintjes, de little ones. Het mannetje. Het koetje. En het schaapje.
Perfect. With infinitive.
Het eten. Het lopen. Het spelen.
So every time with infinitive, we use het.
Yes.
Is there any case that we use de with infinitive?
No.
No. Okay, it makes it simple. Okay, so those were some tips about the articles as well. And we really believe that we can learn in practice with no much theory. That's why we learn fast, because we skip much of the theory, but we need it sometimes when our mind blocks and we need some explanation, we have it there. The theory is always there. What we have to do and to become is more practical. How can we learn in practice? Ears and eyes wide open. People who are now in the Netherlands, I'm addressing the speech to you. When you're in the metro, you're in Amsterdam, when you're in the bus, wherever you are in the supermarket, have your ears and your eyes open to absorb. Because just because you're here doesn't mean that you will learn. Like I've heard a good example, like Chinese people who live in London for 10 years doesn't mean that they learn English, except if they are open to that. When we start understanding what we read and hear, we start acquiring the language unconsciously. And if you want to look for that Professor Chris Lonsdale, if I'm not mistaken, he's from New Zealand, and he learned Chinese. He's a professor in linguistics. He learned Chinese as a native English speaker in 6 months while being in China. And if you see his TED Talk, he talks about the same principles that we apply here. Some of them you've already heard from us tonight. believe in you, in your teacher, and the method. So the person you choose to learn from, just trust the process. Physiological condition matters. If you put trust, if you feel like, okay, I'm here to study, I'm now here to learn, to absorb whatever I can absorb the most, you're open to learn. But if you're afraid that you're not going to learn, if you don't put your energy there, it doesn't work. Stimulating. It has to be stimulating in order to keep you there. And when it's stimulating, you're active. Remember these keywords. Stimulating is the S from the FAST method. Fundamentals, adult-specific, stimulating, tailor-made. How the journey begins. So it's time. We're a bit late, I think, but it's time for the trial lesson. After it, during the trial lesson, you will experience the FAST method in action. You will acquire a general understanding of the structure of the language, and you will start learning fast. So let's go. We have two activities here. This is the first one. It says vertaling. You will translate into English. So first we have a text of 50 words, less than 50 words, for a beginner. We ask learners to translate. So first contact with the language is to see a written text and start translating. Anneta, I would like to ask you to read it for us. And I would like to ask participants, can you please focus on the words that you kind of understand or you guess what they mean based on previous knowledge of other languages? Let's go to see what we can do, even without any translator. So, Anneta, the stage is yours.
Ja, dank je. Nederland kan zich opmaken voor een warm nazomerweekend met hoge temperaturen. Zondag tikt het kwik in sommige delen van het land zelfs de 25 graden aan. Regen is naar verwachting in geen velden of wegen te bekennen, voorspelt Wilfred Jansen van Weerplaza dinsdag.
Okay, now we have an idea of the text. So let's see what words we understand here. I can play the learner, but I have to be honest. I know almost every word because I know the text. It's from our educational material. But I can share thoughts about how, because you cannot speak now, the microphones are off. I can share thoughts about how we can guess words. Okay, Nederland. Yeah. You're all English speakers, right? Kan zich opmaken. Maybe the verb kan. Maybe this is something we can guess. Zich opmaken, I think, Anneta, this is less easy. Yeah. Only maken from make.
Maken, make.
Zich, yeah. For and warm, for, the way it's pronounced helps a bit because the way it's written doesn't help. Een warme nazomerweekend.
Nazomerweekend, ja.
We broke this word down before, right? Nazomerweekend. Zomer, like summer.
Summer.
Een warm nazomerweekend.
Warm.
Warme. So words are pronounced differently in English, but they're written the same sometimes. Met hoge temperaturen. Okay, yeah. Temperaturen, I think it's easy for everyone.
Hoge. High, hoge.
High temperatures, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you please let us know what zich opmaken means? Because I believe that after that, many people are able to translate this sentence.
Can prepare themselves.
You also gave us the can prepare. So I will play the learner, okay?
Yeah.
Netherlands can prepare for a warm weekend, after summer weekend, with high temperatures.
Yeah.
So now that you have the translation, feel free to compare to see how difficult it was. I'm sure you already guessed many of the words here. Zondag tikt het kwik in sommige delen. Okay, here it becomes more difficult, but zondag, maybe we already remember dag, because we mentioned 2 times a day what it means. Dag is the day, right?
Yeah.
And if zon is the sun, which day of the week is zondag?
Sunday.
Tikt het kwik in sommige delen van het land zelfs de 25 graden aan. Okay, so I understand the 25, the number.
25, yeah.
25. So since we understand the number, then the word graden is similar to grades, right?
Yeah.
And we heard about temperature before. So I don't focus now on the words that I don't understand at all. I focus on what I can understand.
Yeah.
Even if I'm not sure. De regen is naar verwachting. When I learned that the word verwachting means like that we wait for that.
Expectation.
Right? Expectation, so something we wait. I'm translating like that because I connected somehow the verb wait with wacht.
Wachten. Yeah.
Wachten. So that's how I learned it. And that's how I remember the word. And then, okay, second thought is that what I wait, what I expect is the expectation. So, okay, no one can speak other than us now. That's why we cannot totally make it. And also we haven't prepared that. Normally, we would ask you to prepare this activity before the lesson. So you learn your words into their context. Some of them are already easy, but because of English, but you see the Dutch version of them. And let's try to go to the second one that is more challenging, the second activity for today. Spreekoefening, toch?
Ja, heel goed.
What does it mean?
Spreekoefening. Spreken is to speak. So it's an exercise for speaking exercise.
Okay. You will read out loud and fluently in Dutch. Normally you prepare this.
Yes.
But what we are planning to ask you is to use the pronunciation tips you received at the beginning, like Groningen, the G there, Groningen, what was it other than that? Zondag, the dag. Ui, Jap, Jordan, the words that we saw and the diphthongs that we saw, because maybe they are repeated here inside. Anneta, would you like to read again slowly this text as well?
Yes, of course.
So that we will recognize the same patterns, the same diphthongs that we had previously. And why not? Some people might also try to translate, but the focus is on the pronunciation of this activity.
Okay, there we go. Beleggers hebben de studentenhuisvesting ontdekt. De afgelopen 5 jaar investeerden commerciële partijen meer dan €1 miljard in studentenwoningen. Dat bedrag is nog hoger als de aankopen worden meegerekend die ze deden in samenwerking met ideële studentenhuisvesters als corporatie Duo en de stichting SSH.
Okay, perfect. So I see studentenhuisvesting, huis, we said about that before. 5, the word 5 in the second line. I see a similarity with the word milliard, or it's different, with in the third line.
Yeah.
Milliard, is it different? It's not
Milliard.
5. Okay, yeah, this is not a similarity. What else can I see? Studentenwoningen. Oh, Woningen like Groningen.
Yeah.
That you mentioned before, that when N is with G, it's not G, it's Groningen.
Yes, we don't really pronounce the G, like Woningen, Groningen. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hoger. Then it says, dat bedrag is nog hoger in the fourth line. And before we saw hoog temperaturen, and now this is comparative. Hoger, higher. And a last thing that I could comment on is commerciële, or Anneta,
Commerciële.
Commerciële, like ideële.
Ideële, yeah.
Because they have these dots on the E, then there's a similarity in the pronunciation. We can practice these two words together. And then sentence after sentence. You don't have to pronounce the whole text from the beginning, like all of it at once. You have to break it down like you do with long words.
Yeah, especially with studentenhuisvesting. It's very old.
Studentenhuisvesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like maybe 6% of what we could do with the microphones off. The rest needs the learner to be active, like I tried to be here. Let's go quickly to the end, because soon Riska will come here and chase us. Let's see. Okay, with the FAST method, you need 36 teaching hours. There's a comparison with the traditional method, where you need 490 hours officially, what is required for the levels and for the diplomas, the certificates, in order to reach the B2 level. A1 level needs 6 hours with FAST method, with a practical way like how we explained tonight, but 60 hours with the traditional method, and goes on, as you see. The FAST method is for you when you have a clear why and you're motivated to learn, and when you prefer learning through real conversations, not textbooks and boring textbooks, but in practical ways. The comparative advantage of the FAST method is that while the normal schools require 2 to 4 years for adults to reach B2 level, language and motivation says with the FAST method we can do it in 6 months in all parts of the language. So we are proud to say that 500 plus students trusted us for the level C1 and C2. In other languages like French and German, we also go to C2 because Dutch stops at C1. And in private lessons and class, in small groups, like we make also groups with a maximum of 3 people in order to keep this fast pace. So we are sharing this because we're proud of that. It's our work. It's we apply the FAST method, and when we see that it works with majority of the people, when you're motivated, when you're there to learn, then it's only something we want to share. This is a review of a great student of ours. He just finished his course recently. And he said that after a while, it becomes natural. The best part is when you realize you're not in a foreign place anymore, because you can finally understand what's happening around you. So today, you were not capable of participating very actively. You can have a trial lesson of 30 minutes with Anneta, with us. It's free of cost. Feel free to try it in practice, and if you are already here for an hour, in the trial lesson you can go deeper, you can do more things, and also ask your questions. Just before the end, many people here work in companies. You can ask your HR about language support because many companies cover the costs for the courses for people to learn Dutch. So feel free to look for opportunities in the environment where you work. We know that from experience because we work with many people who work in companies. You can also prepare for the Inburgering exam with the F.A.S.T method. Within 3 months, a beginner can reach A2 level and prepare for the exams. So thank you. That was it. I think we are on time.
Yes. You are perfectly on time, Shem. Thank you so much, Sofia, and thank you, Anneta. We can quickly go through and do some questions. I'll keep my camera off for now, just so that I don't distract from the information. But we have a question here. It said, Goran said, why is Groningen first H and second G?
Yeah, we already said Groningen. The first one is really a G, Groningen. And then we have the combination, the N and the G, and we don't pronounce the G. Okay. Groningen. It's the combination N and the G. We have already talked about it.
Perfect. Next question. How can I make learning vocabulary more permanent after reading things? Because I usually forget most of the meanings afterwards.
Yes. I like this question. Anneta, may I go for it?
Oh, yes.
So you read the text, you learn some vocabulary, practice it then. But how? Make your own text. Start with a sentence. You have a word, you have Groningen, and okay, this is something you know what it means. But let's say you have studentenhuisvesting, a difficult word. You don't know what it means. You learn what the meaning, put it into context. Sometimes we ask people, for example, at A2 level and B1 level, to make a presentation, to present something that maybe you watch a video and then you present it in your own words. Use the words that you've learned into your presentation. So use the words that you learn. This is how you memorize them well. This is how you learn them. And that's why the list of words are not very efficient. Because if you learn just one word, this doesn't stay in our minds. But if we learn into context, this is what we need.
Perfect. Thank you. Next question from Vanessa. I'm Mexican. I speak English and I have A1 Dutch. What is your recommendation?
About what?
I assume it's what would be her recommendation as to which level course she should do. I don't know, Vanessa, if you're still with us, feel free to elaborate.
All school, okay, maybe not all schools, but usually what teachers in schools do is that they evaluate the level. If you're not a beginner, don't go. If you have done the A1 level and you have a test that, like not official, but just a test that shows that you have A1 level, don't go again back to the same because it will be boring. Yeah. Start from the end of A1 level. So evaluate, take an evaluation activity to know where you are and start from there.
Yeah.
Perfect. Next question. When do you know if you need to emphasize the E at the end? For example, joepie, not emphasized, versus fijne, emphasized. The E at the end of the two words.
Oh, yeah, I can answer that. Joepie, the E and the A, they belong together. We call it een tweeklank, so they are together. So we have to pronounce them like an E. And mooie, for example, mooie, then the pronunciation is but the E and the E belong together and it's an E. Like in België, if we don't put the dots, we will read it wrong. We will say België. And now we know België because the E and the E is together in E.
No, I think that's a good example with België.
Yeah. Perfect. Next question. Do you customize the courses to the student's level and needs? For example, in my case, I have a conversational Dutch level, but I need to go some steps forward and it is hard.
The speaking is always the hardest part.
Yes.
But you're saying if we customize, okay, when you are in a one-to-one course, you can have 100% customization. If you're in a group of 2 people or 3, then it changes a bit. But the teacher, an experienced teacher, knows how to help each one, because no one has the same level in speaking, writing, listening at the same time. So an experienced teacher knows how to help people into that. And to give an example, let's say that you are, let's make it simple. You are in a private lesson just with your teacher. Maybe at the speaking you are at A2 level, but at the understanding of the text you are at B1. So we don't keep you back with the reading comprehension. We give you B1 text and then B2. But for the speaking, we work deeper and we practice more. And after, with A2 level, after a while you go to B1. So this is also kind of customization.
Yes.
Perfect. How to pronounce words that you cannot hear the difference, but native speakers can, like the OE and the U sounds, for example. They sound the same, but they're spelled differently.
The O, the OU, the AU.
No, it's the OE sound, so ku, and then the U sound. So like muts, for example, the U in muts, they say it sounds the same. How to pronounce the words you cannot hear the difference.
Stella, Sofia, sorry.
I think I understand.
Yes.
You know, when you're a beginner, this happens in French as well. You cannot recognize, the teacher says, no, this sounds different, but the beginner student doesn't understand the difference. This happened to me as well as a student. At the beginning, it's okay to just accept you're not perfect in this differentiation. After a while, you will understand, because you will be used to the sounds.
Yes, you get used to it. Yes,
and this can be an answer.
And if also the teacher corrects you, and you practice together, it's easier after. But in the beginning, it's difficult to pronounce all of them. Yeah.
And Anneta, I think there's also another way where how we help that. For example, if it's the diphthong OE, like in the word moeder, you will give me 5, 6 examples. Moeder, UP, and more. Yes.
Yeah.
U. And also maybe we find a word in the bridge language in English, like this moeder reminds me of which word in English? Like Uragan, I don't know, something. This
Uganda. Yeah. Uganda, right, the country.
Yes. So I find it something to connect it with. But the U, like mute, is different.
Yeah. Put.
And then you give me 3, 4 more words with U.
Lust. Yeah.
Rust.
Yeah. Lust. Put.
Yes. So you practice these different sounds repeatedly, and it comes like that.
Perfect. Thank you so much. How many hours, I think you already answered this, but how many hours does a student need to spend on their own per week practicing, reviewing, etc. on the FAST method?
Yes, that's a good question, because we only mentioned the teaching hours.
Oh, correct.
So we always ask people to study from 3 to 6 hours per week, focused on the material. The study is focused on the material that we give people, not just watch movies and add this to the 6 hours weekly study. People who speak other languages with 3-4 hours average on a weekly basis, they are very good, and they reach the levels at a good like satisfactory grade. Some other people need more time. That's why we say you might need 6 hours per week consistently in order to grow fast.
Perfect. Next question is it possible to reach B2 from A2 in 6 months?
Yes, since it's possible to go from A0 to B2 in 6 months, it is easier to reach B2 if you're already at A1 or A2 level.
Perfect.
You will need less time, actually, except if you don't want to study that much.
Perfect. Then when did Sofia start to learn Dutch? Sorry, I missed the introductions.
Yeah, I didn't share that, but I'm happy to share that now. So I'm in the Netherlands already for 7 years and a half, and I started learning it around after the first year, I think, something like that. After I had already trained 1 or 2 teachers in the FAST method. But what happened to me, and I'm not very proud of that, but what happened is that, okay, first of all, it was never a priority, so I haven't reached a high level of the speaking yet. But what happened is that I always tried to learn with the teachers I had just trained to the FAST method, so that may give them the opportunity to have me as their first student. This put me in a position where I was the trainer, but also the real student in Dutch. And this didn't work perfectly because my focus was to train the teachers. So that's part of the journey.
Perfect. I like to improve my spoken Dutch. I'm in A2 B1. Is it possible in 3 months?
Could you repeat, please?
I would like to improve my spoken Dutch. I am in A2 B1. Is it possible in 3 months?
Yes. Where do you want to go? You can have 1, 2, 3, 4 months of lessons. It's up to you. And then according to the time you will spend like the teaching hours and the study time, you can set a goal. Like I want to reach B2, for example. Yes, definitely.
We have 2 more questions, and then I think we will finish it off. Another question is, what is the length of time to go from B2 to C1? How much time would the person need?
3 months.
Okay. And then lastly, do you cover articulation in French? What helped was learning how to shape the mouth.
So when you use the talk to the window practice, you talk a lot, you practice a lot even before the lesson, and then you repeat, of course, in the lesson. That's how the articulation works. That's how you practice the muscles. And they say that we have more than 42 muscles around the mouth. But I don't know what Anneta would also say here. How do you do it, Anneta, in the lesson?
We practice a lot, and they ask me many times. Then I pronounce something, and they see how I pronounce it. So we practice a lot.
Like sing as well. Sing as well. The speaker. How? Okay.
Perfect. Well, I think that is everything for this evening. I would just like to take this moment to thank you, Sofia and Anneta.
Thank you very much.
I'm very sure that our audience at home has definitely learned a few tips and tricks to improve their Dutch. At the moment, we've got a pop-up on the screen. You will see if you'd like to reach out to Sofia or Anneta, please get in touch with them. And then we also have another pop-up. If you haven't already subscribed to our newsletter, or if you'd like to follow us on our social medias, please click on the pop-up on your screen now. Yes, keep up to date with our upcoming webinars. There's always something fresh and new happening on the website with regards to webinars. So you are more than welcome to keep an eye out for that. And then lastly, there will be a pop-up for a survey. So we ask you at home to please take the time. It's going to be about 2 minutes. It just helps us to not only better our webinars, but to give constructive feedback to our presenters. It also allows them to learn for next time when they're hosting another webinar, what they could improve on, what they could include. So feel free to fill out that survey. And then I think that is it for tonight. Thank you very much. And again, thank you to the audience at home. And yes, we'll see you online.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Fijne avond.
Bye. Fijne avond.